make sure that we're up here. Oh. I got to make sure that it's popping up here. And okay, welcome everybody. I'm Jim with Bowden Tactical. This is the BYOAR T350 Show. Welcome everybody. We're going to let the audience build here a little bit. I can't seem to get my screen to come up. Oh, there it is. There I am. Okay. Now I can see who's talking to me. And I got to mute it. How do I do that? Oh, yeah. There it is. There I am. Okay. Now I can see who's talking to me. I can't see. There we go. I'm not sure how. Got it. Okay. I'm muted now. I can hear myself talking delay. So, welcome everybody. Like I said, we'll let the audience build here a little bit and do a little talking. So I had a couple discussions this week, or a discussion this week with a couple of guys on the National AR Builders Forum, and they were talking about, a couple guys were asking, what's the hey Caleb, how you doing, bud? They were asking about the difference of muzzle devices, and one guy was, what's the difference between a flash can and a flash hider? What does a muzzle brake do? These were new guys, and they don't understand the differences between these things. So most of you know the difference between these things, but I'll give you a quick little overview for the new guys. You have three basic types of muzzle devices. You have the standard flash hider, which comes on most of your rifles, your stock rifles, the A2 flash hider. This is kind of our version of the A2 flash hider. We've done something a little different here. We got some ports with 4 holes in them, some slots. Really busts up the flash nice. You've got a flash can. You got a flash can here. Okay, and you've got just your plain old 4-port muzzle brake. So what's the difference between these, and why would you want to use one versus the other? Well, they all have pretty specific applications. Your standard flash hider, this thing is designed to do 2 things. It busts up the flash when you fire, busts up that fireball. You bust up that fireball into a bunch of different little pieces, gets rid of that signature. Someone in the distance isn't necessarily going to see you if you're shooting in a tactical or a combat situation. That's why they're used so much on mil-spec rifles, busting up that fireball, eliminating that signature so that the enemy can't see you as well. The other thing they really do, and this one is really effective at because of the way it's designed, is it forces all the gas and the pressure upwards, bringing the muzzle back down level, so that when you fire, instead of getting this, you get this, and it keeps you on target better. So along those same lines, the muzzle brake does the same thing, but it also has recoil mitigation. So it mitigates the rise through these holes in the top. The gas again comes out the holes in the top, forces the gun back down level. These walls, as the bullet travels through here, it sucks the gas and the pressure through with it, and those gases and hot expanding gases, they buffer against these walls, and that wants to pull this forward, thereby pulling the rifle forward. And when it pulls the rifle forward, it mitigates what you feel in your shoulder. It mitigates the recoil. So muzzle brake mitigates recoil and rise. The last thing we have is the flash can. All this does and is designed to do is push all the gas, blast, concussion downrange away from the shooter or from anybody off to the side of the shooter. A lot of these are used in AR pistol applications because of the concussive blast that is happening so close to the shooter. forcing that sound and blast downrange. Does nothing for recoil or rise, strictly for getting sound and gases away from the shooter. The one drawback to muzzle brake is that they are loud. All of that blast is coming out and sometimes back at you, so you're going to feel that as the shooter. You're going to feel some of that concussive blast happening back at you, and you're also going to have a lot more enhanced sound than you would with a flash hider or especially the flash can. So great for mitigating recoil and rise, not so good for sound. Great for mitigating rise and busting up your signature, average on sound. Does nothing but push sound and concussive blast away from the shooter. So those are the three types of muzzle devices and why you want to choose one over the other. So depending on your application, that's what you're going to want to. Caleb, what's he? Oh, you have the flash can on your 10.5. I saw that pistol or that you put up online. Yeah, I like the flash cans on the pistols too. Just for getting that sound and blast downrange. I actually put one of these, and I don't recommend doing this. I put this on a 16-inch rifle and fired the rifle without hearing protection. And my ears weren't ringing when I was done. Now, I don't recommend doing it. I did it just as an experiment to try and see what the difference was. And it definitely made a difference. I would not do that with a muzzle brake, even to see what's going to happen. Your ears will be damaged severely after 6 shots with a muzzle brake and no hearing protection. So let's get into what we came here to talk about today, and that's rifling, twist rates, and ammunition. So what is rifling? Rifling is the grooves inside of a barrel, and if I can get my camera guy to come in here and kind of show you if he can get a view of that. Okay, you see the twisting motion, the twist inside that barrel, and that twist. Rifling was invented in Germany back in the late 1400s, and it didn't really become commonplace in use in modern firearms until the 1800s. I'm going to read a little bit here. I got some notes to make sure I don't miss anything. I'm not going to bore you to death with a lot of technical stuff. If you really want to get into it, there's a ton of resources online that can tell you about rifling, twist rates. There's some mathematical formulas if you're a hand loader and you really want to dive into it and get down to the nitty and gritty of it. There is some great Berger, I think. They got some great calculators online that you can go in and plug in all your information, the bullet weight, the velocity, the different and it'll tell you exactly what twist rate you should be using. Like I said, real good for the hand loading guys. So what rifling does is it imparts spin into the bullet. So when the bullet comes out, it's spinning like a football. You know, when you throw a football and it goes end over end, it maybe goes 10 yards and boom, you know, that's it. You know, a good quarterback, you see him, you know, he throws those lasers, spiral, and, you know, he can throw a ball 70, 80 yards. And, you know, that's the same thing you're trying to do with a bullet. There's two things in a bullet. There's center of gravity and center of pressure. And when the center of pressure is ahead of the center of gravity and the bullet's not spinning, it wants to start tumbling. The center of gravity wants to bypass the center of pressure, and that's what will cause the bullet to start tumbling downrange. Fins on the back of a bullet would, you know, act as a stabilizer, much like an arrow. That's why an arrow has feathers on the back of it. It pulls that center of pressure backwards so it's in line with the center of gravity, and it imparts, if you look at the arrows on a feather, or feathers on an arrow, I'm sorry, they're not really straight on there. They're kind of helical and they wrap around the shaft of the arrow a little bit. So as it's passing through the air, it starts that arrow spinning, and that's what gives the arrow its stability to travel straight and true on course, just like rifling does with a bullet. It imparts that spin on it and sends it true on course. Twist rates in barrels. So most modern AR rifles, you can get three twist rates. There's 1 in 7, 1 in 8, and 1 in 9. There is 1 in 10 and 1 in 12. They do exist. It's a lot of custom stuff. They're generally designed for very lightweight bullets. So when it says 1 in 7, 1 in 8, 1 in 9, what does that mean? So what that means is that there is one twist or rotation of the rifling every 7 inches or every 8 inches or every 9 inches. Whatever that, 1 is always the constant, being 1 revolution. 7 is your variable, being the amount of inches that it takes to perform that 1 revolution. So general rule of thumb is that you want to shoot heavier bullets out of a slower twist rate. So that being 1 in 7. That's why mil-spec ARs are 1 in 7 twist, designed for 62 grain ammo. They shoot a 62 grain ammo very effectively. You get into the 1 in 8, 1 in 9. You can start getting down into some of the lighter ammos, 55 grain. 1 in 8 is kind of the standard, at least for me. It encompasses the greatest range of bullet weights. And our pistol barrels are 1 in 7, and our rifle barrels on our build kits are 1 in 8. And 1 in 8 being the most universal, and again encompassing most of your grain weights, all except your very lightest and your very heaviest. Okay. And and remember, twist rate, and this is not a perfect world. It's not a perfect rule of thumb. I highly recommend that when you get a rifle, buy some different ammunition and try some different things. If you try one ammo and it doesn't work, it's not shooting real well for you, it's not very accurate, try a different ammo. It's amazing. Just a few grains can make a big difference. If 55 isn't working for you, try 62. If 62 isn't working for you, try 77. But as a general rule of thumb, a 1 in 8 twist is going to be just fine for you for plinking at the range with 55 grain ammo, which is basically your low cost ammo. I got a couple different examples here. Most all of these are shot out of the AR platform or AR-10 platform. I got some tool ammo here. This is steel cased, very inexpensive ammo. It's good for range plinking. If you want to make steel ring at 50 to 100 yards, you're looking to hit a 6-inch steel plate. This is good ammo for that. You step up a little bit, you come to Wolf. Now, this steel case tool ammo, it has a tendency to be dirty and it's corrosive. So I highly recommend cleaning after every time you shoot this stuff. It's extremely dirty. You step up into some Wolf, it's a little more expensive, and you start to get into brass case. The steel case is again what makes it cheap. There is a lacquer coating on these steel cased ammos to keep them from rusting, and some barrels can be a little finicky with it. So if you want to shoot this stuff, I recommend you buy a 20-round box and try it first, because if your rifle doesn't like it and you buy 1,000 rounds, you're kind of stuck. So buy yourself a 20-round box. Make sure your gun can shoot steel cased ammo without any problems, and let it rip, but just make sure you keep your gun clean afterwards. You step up here to some what is it? This is what, Federal? Yeah, this is Federal ammunition, OTM, open tip match grade ammo. You can see it's got almost a little hollow point in the tip of it. 77 grain. This is if you're looking to shoot long distance accuracy, starting to get into a little hunting, maybe some varmints, some stuff like that. 243. Caleb, you know all about the 243, right? We talked about your 243 a couple of times. I love 243. I have a 243 lever action that was my dad's. It was his favorite gun, and it's a very near and dear gun to my heart. It's going to Texas with me in July to go pig hunting, and I'll be using this ammo right here to do that. We got 450 Bushmaster. You know, you're starting to get into some really good hunting rounds here. 225 grain ballistic tip. I love Hornady. Hornady makes great hunting ammo. You can't go wrong with Hornady for hunting ammo. 350 Legend. I just built myself a 350 Legend for deer hunting here in Ohio. This is full metal jacket practice ammunition. I wouldn't use this for hunting ammunition. And real quick, I'll tell you why. So a full metal jacket is not designed for any kind of expansion or deformation, where these ballistic tipped ammos with the serrations on them, when this hits, the tip pushes in, the serrations start to come apart, and that bullet expands, and it expands very rapidly, and it disperses the energy inside that animal. And that's what you want to happen. You want that energy to disperse inside the animal and cause the most amount of damage so that your harvest is quick, ethical, and as humane as possible. This type of ammunition is going to go in this big, and it's going to come out this big for the most part. There's not really going to be any deformation or expansion, and the energy is going to continue to travel out the other side. And you want that energy to stay inside the animal. Got some 22 here. This is just fun plinking ammo, maybe shooting some squirrels. I just won a 17 Ruger Precision Rimfire at the National Wild Turkey Federation dinner a couple months ago, and this is just the funnest little gun. They do make this in an AR platform. I've heard it's a little tricky because the casing is not what's the word, truncated there at the bottom. The lip is bigger than the case, so it becomes hard to feed when that happens. But there is a company in California that makes a AR platform in the 17, and then you got standard pistol ammo. That's a 380 ball ammunition. So, going back to, to kind of wrap this all up, rifling is what puts the spin on the bullets. Spin is what stabilizes the bullet and gives you your accuracy. So on a 1 in 7, great ammunition, 62 grain. The shorter barrels sometimes have a little trouble stabilizing because you don't have as much time. There's only a very limited time in here versus a 16-inch barrel. So sometimes even 62 grain will tumble in these short barrels, and you'll want to step up to a heavier bullet that'll stabilize faster. The 1 in 8 barrel, this 55 grain ammunition, 62 grain ammunition is going to be great for shooting at the range. It's a great place to start and make sure that Caleb says he's always been a bit scared to shoot steel out of his ARs. I've never had any problem. I own several of them, and I've ran steel through all of them. I've heard that it wears out a barrel faster. It wears out your chamber faster. I don't know. I guess if I shot 10,000 rounds, I could speak to that. I shoot as much as I can, but I am definitely not a 10,000 round guy. I don't know that I own any gun that I've ever shot 10,000 rounds out of. But I've never had any problem with steel ammo. And like I said, for going to the range, putting holes in paper, making steel ring, it's just a great inexpensive way. Ammo prices are up a little bit right now with all the stuff going on in the world, but before that, you could buy this stuff for around 24-25 cents a round. So it made a great inexpensive day at the range versus, you're talking 60-70 cents a round here, and right now you're talking 39 cents a round for this Wolf brass cased ammo. So, I forgot to mention last week, we had our rifle build. We talked about rifle build kits, and you go to BYOAR.com, and you can see build your AR tab, and we got full build rifle kits there. And our question last week was asking about if anybody had ever built a rifle out of a kit. And the winner last week of our sticker package was Corey Boyce. We got a nice little sticker package here of just a bunch of You know, us gun guys, we love our stickers, and we buy stuff and we don't have a sticker in there, we get mad. You know, go to Palmetto State's Facebook page and type in Stickergate. There for the longest time, you couldn't get a sticker from them, and it was just a big deal all over the internet. So this week's question was obviously talking about ammo. There's a place on the BYOAR Architect page to post a picture and talk about your favorite ammo, and you'll be in the drawing to win this week's sticker package. I did say that last week's winner was Corey Boyce, didn't I? Okay, I thought I did. This week, don't forget, we on our website, we got free shipping on all in-store items over $24. So you buy a $60 handguard, a $70 handguard, whatever it is, you're going to get free shipping on all that. There's only like 2 items on the whole store that are under that $24. So just because they're so inexpensive, we do have to charge shipping on those. But anything over $24, you're going to get free shipping till Sunday night at midnight. So go on the store, check it out, and then see what you like, and you get free shipping on it. Next week, we're going to talk about sights and optics, iron sights. We'll talk about some flip-up sights, some 45-degree sights, red dots, scopes. The question, obviously, of next week will center around scopes and sights. And I think that's all I've got for you this week. See if there's any more questions up here. No, nothing else I can answer today. So, been great. Great having you guys here. Hey, I see we got a nice audience. What, 9, 10 people today? 11 people. So that's good. And a lot of people tend to watch this later. We get a lot more views later on in the evening. So thanks for joining us this week. And remember, you don't have to be an expert to build your own AR or maintain it or upgrade it. We're here to help you with that. Speaking of help, real quick, on the BYOAR page website, we got the full build kits. We talked about it a little bit last week. We're going to be doing those virtual build-alongs, and we're so excited about that. You know, it's going to be so cool. Guys are going to be able to buy the full build kit, sign up for a build-along, and once a month, once every 3 weeks, whatever it is, we're going to come in here. We're going to have a Zoom room set up. You log in. You can watch me build a rifle. Watch somebody else. I'll be coaching somebody else through building the rifle, and you can build your rifle right at home, right along with us. And if you run into problems, you run into trouble, you need some questions answered, we're right here. All you got to do is, throw your virtual hand up and say, hey, I got a problem over here, and we're going to stop what we're doing, and we're going to help you. Our whole idea is that we want everybody in that room who's building along with us to come out the other end of that with a fully functional rifle. And I just can't wait to see how that's going to look, man. That's going to be so cool. We talked about doing this at gun shows, having a bench set up and having our kits and telling the guy, hey, that guy right over there sells lowers. Go grab you a lower and bring it back over here. And I'm going to talk you through and take you about a half hour, 45 minutes, and I'm going to build you a rifle right here. Well, obviously with the coronavirus going on now, we're not allowed to do gun shows. That should be breaking back open here, hopefully in the next couple of months, and we're going to do that. But we are going to do the virtual reality world of building ARs in a Zoom room while you guys build yours. And that is going to be cool, really cool. I don't know of anybody else that's doing that, and we're going to give it a try. So remember, you don't have to be an expert to build your own AR. We're here to help. We'll see you guys next week.